The James Webb Space Telescope, also known as JWST, is a space telescope for conducting infrared astronomy. It is considered one of the greatest innovations of our time and is the biggest optical space telescope. The telescope's high resolution and sensitivity enable it to observe objects too aged, faint, or far away for the Hubble Space Telescope. This means that JWST facilitates investigations across various fields of cosmology and astronomy. For instance, the formation of the oldest galaxies, observance of the stars in the beginning, and comprehensive atmospheric images of potentially livable planets. The JWST was launched last year on the 25th of December from Kourou on an Ariane 5 rocket, and the first image by the telescope was released via a press meeting on the 11th of July in 2022. And in today's video, we'll tell you how it has nearly broken cosmology. So watch it until the end to find out. Galaxies may have been formed earlier and more quickly than previously thought. JWST observed sky regions as rectangles against a black background. This region of the sky was observed by JWST and included and extended a region found by the Hubble Space Telescope. Also, scientists used the new telescope to take multi-wavelength measurements of distant galaxies ever seen, confirming their extreme distance. The James Webb Space Telescope is delivering on its promise of being a time machine. The spectacularly sensitive observatory is discovering and confirming more distant galaxies, and thus existed earlier in the universe's history than any previously observed. The JWST has confirmed extreme distances to 4 galaxies, one of which set a cosmic remoteness record by shining about 13.475 billion years ago, as reported by the astronomers on December 12th at the first science results from the JWST conference. Dozens of other galaxies could have been discovered because they were discovered 550 million years or less after the Big Bang, implying that the light from those galaxies traveled for at least 13.1 billion years before reaching the telescope. The new findings suggest that galaxies formed earlier and faster than previously thought. We're entering a new era, says Swar Ravindranit, an astronomer at Baltimore Space Telescope Science Institute. That new era is made possible in part by its ability to detect extremely faint infrared light. The visible light of the most distant objects, such as the first stars and galaxies, is stretched by the universe's relentless expansion into longer infrared wavelengths that are invisible to the naked eye and some previous space telescopes. However, researchers claim that JWST has made previously impossible measurements possible. The JWST is the most powerful infrared telescope ever built, said astrophysicist Jane Rigby at the conference. Rigby is the JWST operations project scientist at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland. Almost everywhere, the performance of science is better than expected. Astronomers discovered galaxies whose light originated 13 billion years ago in the first image released in July. However, those distances were only estimates. To precisely measure the distances, astronomers require spectra, which measure how much light the galaxies emit over a wide range of wavelengths. Pictures are faster and easier to make than measurements. We're now getting spectra for hundreds of galaxies at once thanks to this glorious telescope, said Emma Curtis Lake, an astronomer at the University of Hertfordshire in England. Curtis Lake and colleagues reported 4 of the earliest galaxies ever seen, less than 400 million years after the Big Bang. At the meeting and in a paper submitted to Arxiv, Oregon, December 8th, the record holders were discovered in a patch of the sky once scoured by the Hubble Space Telescope for ultra-remote galaxies. The previous record holder lived between 13.3 billion and 13.4 billion years ago, or approximately 400 million years after the Big Bang. JWST verified the distance to that galaxy and discovered 3 more whose light dates back to 325 million years after the Big Bang. Past this prologue, we've covered breakthroughs that have shaped scientists' perceptions of the world since 1922. Chemically, the galaxies are also surprisingly pristine, with no elements heavier than hydrogen and helium. We don't see that in today's universe. Ravindranit, who was not involved in the discovery, says it could imply that not many of the galaxy's stars died in supernova explosions, which spread heavy elements throughout the universe, implying that the original stars were not extremely massive. JWST has discovered 26 galaxies in another part of the sky that may have existed 550 million years or prior after the Big Bang, according to astronomer Stephen Finkelstein and colleagues at the meeting and in a paper submitted to Arxiv, Org on November 10th. Finkelstein of the University of Texas said, "Looking at these images is amazing on an emotional, visceral level. The first of these, dubbed Maisie's galaxy after Finkelstein's daughter, appears to be only 380 million years after the Big Bang," the researchers said in the Astrophysical Journal. Letters on December 1st. The most distant galaxy in the survey could be 130 million years older than Maisie. The distances of those galaxies still need to be confirmed with spectra, which the team expects to receive in the coming weeks. Maisie's galaxy, as seen with JWST, is the fuzzy red dot in the inset box at the right, and distant galaxies lying behind a galaxy cluster known as Abell 2744 are more numerous and distant than expected, according to UCLA astrophysicist Guido Roberts-Borsani. Before JWST saw the cluster, astronomers predicted it would find almost no galaxies from 13.2 billion years ago. But we discovered two, said Roberts-Borsani, who presented the findings at the meeting. So something is a little strange. It could mean that galaxies form faster than previously thought, he speculated. Still, it could also mean that JWST was looking at a galaxy-rich patch of the sky. All of these new galaxies are exciting because they may be responsible for reionization, the universe's process of becoming transparent to visible light. This is because the universe was filled with a hot, dense soup of particles before the first stars ignited. The universe was bathed in ultraviolet light by the first stars and galaxies, splitting the electrons of hydrogen atoms and allowing light to sip through until it reached JWST. Roberts-Borsani said, "The new data give us constraints on when this process started and ended, and what galaxies were the culprits for this process. Big Bang theory, and if the JWST has proved it wrong." What is the Big Bang? The Big Bang is a highly misleading name for the expanding universe. Experts see it, universe that is infinitely expanding into itself. The name Big Bang connotes a firecracker exploding at a specific time and location with a center. But there is no center to the universe. The Big Bang happened all at once and was a process in time, not a point in time. We know this because one, galaxies rush away from each other rather than toward a central point, and two, the heat left over from early times uniformly fills the universe. We cannot see the Big Bang, but the heat that existed around 380,000 years after the universe began expanding 13.8 billion years ago. This heat pervades the entire sky and fills the entire universe. Does James Webb prove the Big Bang theory wrong? It has been explained that the galaxies in the James Webb images appear much more primitive than modern galaxies, and they fully support the Big Bang theory in this regard. However, the astonishment stems from the fact that they were expected to be smaller and simpler. According to scientists, they should still form from separate clouds of gas in which star formation processes are just beginning, and James Webb's observations show fully structured, albeit small and primitive, star systems. Most scientists believe this is not proof of the Big Bang theory's fallacy, as it is being dubbed due to the spread of incorrect facts. Have you seen the pictures revealed by the James Webb Space Telescope? Let us know in the comment section below. For more such interesting videos, subscribe to our channel and stay tuned. See you soon.